Brent, really nice to have you on today as a guest. I saw you on LinkedIn and saw that you've been in the sales industry for like, I think 10, 15, 20 years. Actually, more than that, much more than
Yes,
that.
I'm old. Yeah.
No, no, you don't look old. No, so
Thank you.
yeah. So you've been in the sales space for a long time. You currently run a LinkedIn sales agency, right? Sort of company where you help people build their LinkedIn and get prospects using LinkedIn, right? So,
Yes, as well as AI, using AI and
as well as
prompt
AI.
writing. Yep.
Okay, okay, got it. So let's just dive right into it. Tell us a bit about your journey so far, and then we'll get into your companies that you're currently running, and we'll talk about sales and LinkedIn and how to grow on LinkedIn and how to do sales using LinkedIn as well.
All right, terrific. Thank you. Well, I started off in sales and I loved sales, but I didn't love cold calling.
Okay.
But I did it. I did it because I really enjoyed the opportunity to talk with people and help them uh, solve whatever problem it is that we were solving. And I really fell in love with sales when I was face to face with a client. And I remember, and you may be too young for this, but staring at his overflowing Rolodex.
Hmm.
So a roll, I don't, yeah, see, so a Rolodex was where you would store all of your business cards.
Okay.
And so I remember staring at that. It was overflowing. He had hundreds of them. And I was
Okay.
thinking, if I could get my hands on that for 20 minutes, I could identify who he knew that I wanted to meet, and I wouldn't have to cold call because he could make some introductions for me.
Yeah.
But in 1992, it wasn't exactly politically correct to say, "Hey, Mr. Klein, can I thumb through your connections?" Well, that's what we have with LinkedIn now.
Hmm.
We have the ability to filter and search our connections and identify pathways to our prospects so
Hmm.
that we can get introductions or permission to name drop. And we're starting all these conversations at a much higher level of credibility.
Hmm. Got it. Got it. And you feel like this whole thing is repeating itself on LinkedIn, and that's why we need to like build trust and credibility with the prospect first, and like build like sort of a conversation initially. Like I've seen your website, you mentioned trust based conversations, right?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so it's really important that we treat the people on the other side of the message the
Hmm.
same way we would if they were on the other side of the table.
Hmm.
So what that means, that's a human being. Don't look at them as a lead. Look at them
Exactly.
as a person because they're a person. Now,
Exactly.
there are some people that don't want small talk, but there are others that do. Here's the thing. The goal is to bring enough value that we earn the right to get the conversation. So
Got it.
we have to detach from what that prospect is worth to us and attach to what we are worth to them.
Hmm.
The goal, so for some people, the goal, building rapport might really matter.
Hmm.
For me, occasionally building rapport matters, but actually, I respond better when I know the value up front. So
Hmm.
if someone approaches me and says, "Hey, I noticed this about your website. I have 3 tips that I'd love to share with you, even if we never work together, that can help your SEO."
Hmm.
I'll be like, "Sure, send that my way." And if it's something new, now they're earning the right to have a conversation with me. But
Got it.
if they start with, "Hey, we've helped companies just like you increase their SEO. Can we tell you how we can help you?" I have no interest at all.
Hmm. Hmm. So you don't want anyone to directly sell to you. You want some value out of it so they can build rapport. And that I'm the same way, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people are the same way, right?
Exactly.
But it's not just building rapport, it's building credibility.
Hmm.
It's right. If you bring me value, I'm more likely to want to have a conversation with you.
Hmm.
The chances of me accepting a pitch are so low, but the chances of me accepting value at no cost, no
Hmm.
risk, that can have an impact on my business, even if we don't work together, meaning it's a free
Exactly.
gift, I'm much more likely to want to talk to you.
Exactly.
So the trust-based conversation, really, you're earning the trust through being a resource first and then being a salesperson last.
Got it. And you are also playing a longer game, right? Because let's say even if you don't need an SEO person today, but you're like, hey, I can make some changes on my website. I can like rank higher on Google, right? And if they suggest some things and you like it and you make those changes and it helps your SEO, right? And you rank a little bit higher on Google. Maybe in the future, when you are going to focus more on SEO, you will be willing to maybe give them a chance or give them a pitch at least, right? And you'll remember them.
Yeah, and the other thing is you can give value that um, leads them closer to your solution.
Hmm.
So you could say, I noticed these three areas that
Hmm.
are holding back your SEO. Here are some suggestions, but they may not know how to actually implement that.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you say, if you need a little more guidance, I'm happy to jump on a call with you. Again, even if we don't work together, I can show you how to do that.
Hmm.
I'd
Hmm.
be happy to share, you know, if you have a marketing person, I'm happy to have a conversation with them.
Hmm.
And it really is about giving.
Got it. Got it. And what coming to that, like this is entirely sales, right? This is not people think this is like building trust, networking, outreach. This is sales, like in a way, and trying to build connection, genuine connections in a way, eventually, right? And even if you don't get the sale, you are still trying to build that connection. So, talking about sales, what do you think is like some because you've been in the space for so long? What do you think is something which is evergreen and true even like two or three decades ago about sales, which people should follow today, and they don't usually.
Right. I like that. And really, the human side in any complex sale is still the same. People
Hmm.
still want human connection. Now, if you are in retail and you're like, oh, well, the human side, I- it's terrible, but I buy all my clothes on Amazon. I mean, like I don't go to malls anymore and I don't go to retail. So there are some areas where the human doesn't matter that much. And I buy, my Gucci purses on eBay that are used and then I take them and get them cleaned up, right? So I get
Yeah.
$2,000 bags for $200.
Yeah.
So there's no human in that anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying, because you said, what hasn't changed, but if I am buying a solution
Hmm.
versus a commodity,
Hmm.
if I am buying, I want the human connection, I want a conversation. Um, I want to be able to pick up the phone if I have a problem and not have to go through 7 steps to get to a person.
Hmm.
So I do think that in most solution-based sales companies, human is still the same. Relationships are still the same. I also think more now than ever before, trust matters.
Hmm.
So where trust always mattered, there was a lot of blind trust for a long time in businesses. There was a lot of manipulation in businesses, and people would buy. Today's buyer is more savvy than ever, and they can Google it,
Hmm.
right? They can go into an AI platform, an LLM, and ask questions and prove you wrong, or right. So um, it is really important more than ever that we are transparent and open and ethical and authentic and don't start any conversation off. I'm against outreach from automation
Hmm.
because you're faking the relationship.
Yeah.
Right? You're going out and saying, "Hey, I'm a person want to connect with you, but I never looked at your profile. I don't know who you are." And so we're starting a relationship off in a lie.
Hmm.
And I think, when you say what hasn't changed, that's part of the humanity too. We want authentic engagement with real people. Don't fake me out. Now, if I get onto a website and there's an AI bot that I can ask questions to, I'm great with that. If
Hmm.
I am aware that I am talking to an AI bot, I love that. And I love innovation. Just don't try to trick me.
Got it. So if they try to act that someone on the other side of that laptop or screen, there's another human being and there's no real human being, which you will eventually get to know if you like have that conversation with any kind of chatbot, then you would understand after a while that this is not a real person. And if they try to fake it, you won't like that. Right.
It's gross. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree. I agree with that. So you also talk about trust-based conversations. We touched upon that a little bit, but I want to talk about that in the sense with LinkedIn. Like, how can people use LinkedIn to start trust-based conversations?
Okay. So there's a lot of different ways to go about this, and I'm just going to talk with to go through a few.
Hmm.
Again, I want you to come with the perspective as we have to earn the right to get a
Hmm.
sales call. So do not ask for any sales calls or conversations until you've earned the right to do that. So, how do we do this? Well, the first thing we have to do is stop sharing content we want them to consume and start sharing content they want to consume.
Hmm.
So often we're sharing stuff about our products or services or upcoming, and not that you can't share those things at all, but that is not what your buyer who is not actively looking for your solution cares about. And
Hmm.
most of your buyers are passive buyers. They're not out there looking for you. So we have to start with what do they care about? Maybe we put out a fun little poll talking about what's happening in their industry or the industry of their clients. Um, and we ask them to vote on it. We would love your one-click vote.
Hmm.
People like that. That's fun. That's interesting to them.
By DMing
Or
them, usually
what's that?
by
Yeah,
DMing.
sure. Absolutely. So we would say take inventory of your first degree connections and who in your connections you want to re-engage.
Hmm.
Put out a poll and ask them to vote on a poll,
Okay, got
right?
it. Yeah.
It's it's just a great way to kind of touch base with someone,
Hmm.
right? So, um, maybe you invite them to a free event. Maybe you have a live stream that's happening, but that live stream can't be a pitch of your product. It has to be something that's of value to them.
Exactly. True.
So, I mean, and there are lots of different ways you can go in and engage. So, this is like we have prospect by influencer.
Hmm.
So, you can go in and look at all your first degree connections that follow Tony Robbins.
Hmm.
Now I can go out and find a podcast Tony Robbins was on, and I can go to all my first degree connections and say, hey, I see we're both big followers of Tony Robbins. Just listen to this Make sure you listen to it because you want to be authentic, but just listen to this podcast on how to grow your business by thinking, positively or whatever it is. Thought you might get some value from it. Let me know. I'm happy to send over a link. And they follow Tony Robbins because I did a search in the free version of LinkedIn that says who of my first degree connections follow Tony Robbins.
Hmm.
So now that's a trust-based conversation. I identified something we have in common and I'm sending them content that has nothing to do with me. But I'm starting that conversation in a way that matters to them.
Hmm. Got it.
Right? Now they say, sure, send that over. And I might say, who else do you follow? And I could say, hey, I'm not sure if this content is of interest to you, but we recently put out a checklist. Let me know if you'd like that. I'm happy to give you that. And
Value.
we can, right? We're bringing value, 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 and we're leading them to our value. But you want to ask permission. Don't send links or content without permission. So
Yeah.
that's great. Okay, we can also find our second degree connections that follow Tony Robbins. And so we can then get introductions. Hey, Jane, I noticed you're connected to Fred. Um, I wanted to send him some information over about Tony Robbins. Can I ask you, how well do you know him and do you think he'd be receptive?
Hmm. Got it.
So Jane says, oh, yeah, he's a great guy. Awesome. When I reach out to him, should I tell him you said hello? Yes, great. Fred, Jane and I were chatting on LinkedIn. Your name came up. She says hello. I noticed we're both fans of Tony Robbins. I just listened to this amazing podcast. I thought I'd connect, and if you're interested, let me know. I'm happy to send you a link.
Hmm. Got it.
Right?
Permission
I
based
mean,
selling in a way.
permission-based selling. That's trust-based.
Exactly.
Permission-based, trust-based. Yes.
Got it. So these are like some good actionable insights actually. So do you feel like you can replicate these outside of LinkedIn as well? So for example, on email in the long way?
But I don't because that's not what I do. But I'm
Yeah,
sure if you could, yeah. I mean, I'm sure that the concepts are great anywhere.
got it. Got it. And you also mentioned AI, right? Your company is also using AI to help your clients like improve their prospecting on LinkedIn. So how do you do that? If you can
So
like
we
give us a
have
brief.
a, yeah, we have a prompt framework called Crispy
Hmm.
that helps people to write prompts so that the content is in their voice.
Okay.
So, Crispy, C,
Hmm.
context. What do I want this prompt to do? I would like a blog post. Great.
Hmm. Hmm.
R, role. What role do I want AI to play? I want AI to be my interviewer. Please, you are a world-class ghost writing blogger who will interview me to help
Hmm.
create the best piece on, the best piece possible based on my genius. Great.
Hmm. Got it.
Inspiration. Inspirations. I'd like the blog post to be on AI and sales. I would like it to provide all this kind of insights. I would like the goal of the blog is that that anyone in sales who's searching um, for uh, how to write a prompt in sales, this blog post is going to come up. All the things I wanted to do is inspiration, right?
Got it.
Then we have scope, 1,000 words.
Hmm.
Okay. Simple.
Yeah.
Or, if this is an email campaign, I want a 5 email campaign over 30 days, right? Whatever the scope is of the project.
Got it.
Prohibitions. What do I want AI not to do? Do
Hmm.
not start with a prepositional phrase in today's ever-changing environment. We know that's ChatGPT, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Do not use the word delve or foster. Like there are surefire signs that this is screaming. Do not, then I'll put prohibitions. Do not write anything that would come up in an AI detector,
Okay. Got it.
right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Makes
great.
sense.
Now we have why in Crispy. So we have context, role, inspiration, scope, prohibitions, and you. Remember, I asked it to be an interviewer?
Yeah.
Ask me all the questions you need to complete this task one at a time.
Hmm.
And it's going to interview you, and it's going to write it in your voice.
Got it. So the prompt after writing those prompts, Crispy will try to understand what kind of content I would create, how would I create it, what would be my tone of voice, and then eventually like give me that output. And then I can make changes if I don't like the output completely, right?
Yes, but it because the role is an interviewer
Hmm.
and they are a ghostwriter, and the goal is for them to help write that blog post. A ghostwriter does not have their own voice at all
Hmm.
in
Got it.
a blog post or copy. A ghostwriter is brilliant at pulling out the interviewee's words, right?
Hmm.
Because they're writing it in my voice. So I make them an interviewer and then I tell them to ask me all the questions one at a time. As a ghostwriter, it is going to use my voice,
Hmm.
my answers, my perspective.
Got it.
And so now AI is authentically, we're using AI smartly and authentically ours.
Got it. Got it. That's pretty cool. Is this yours made by your team? This is like a chat
Yes.
GPT wrapper, right? I'm guessing, or some kind of wrapper.
Yeah, for any LLM, it will work anywhere. So we have our own platform called AskSSL.ai,
Okay.
but that framework works in any LLM. You could go to Perplexity,
Got
Claude,
it.
Copilot, Gemini, it doesn't matter. It's a framework that
Uh-huh.
teaches AI to interview us
Got it. So it's like you are
So,
teaching your
yeah,
clients a prompt where they can put that prompt to teach that LLM to write in their tone of voice, right? Basically.
correct. And we're actually publishing a book in the next month or so. I don't know when this is live, with my team. So it's myself, I'm Brynne Tillman, Bob Woods, and Stan Robinson, called Prompt Writing Made Easy: The Crispy Framework. So we'll have a book on this published very soon.
Done. Just send me the link after you have published it. I'll link it down wherever I put this video or this podcast on YouTube and
Yeah,
even my Instagram channel.
so right now it's promptwritingmadeeasy.com. And it will go to by the time we're done today, it will go to a wait list if it's not published yet, and then it will go to the book when it is.
Done. I'll link that
Great,
URL
thank
below
you.
somewhere. Right. Okay, perfect. So, I wanted to ask you like a personal question. I used to run a marketing agency. I don't anymore. I run a education company now. But let's say if I were running a marketing agency before, right, and I used to get clients from referrals and cold emails. That those were my main two channels for getting clients, and it worked really, really well for me, right? But what I wanted to ask you is, let's say because now I'm trying to like build my LinkedIn as well, but if I were a marketing
Mhm.
agency founder, right, how would I build my LinkedIn, not just by using outreach methods or trying to connect with my first year, but also like building my profile, right? Building the type of content that I want to create. How would I do that if I were to come to you and you were to give me like a brief strategy on it? How would you think about it?
Yeah, so the first thing we have to do is convert our profile from a resume to a resource,
Hmm.
so that when your potential clients get here, you're already earning the right to get the conversation because you bring them so much value right in your profile.
I like that. I like that. Resume from a resource, from a resume to a
From a
resource,
resume to a
which
resource.
is great. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that's foundational. The next thing is you really need to create content. So, when you're the marketing agency and you are attracting people to do what let me see if I can say this. I want to say it very clearly. I'll start with, you have to practice what you preach.
Hmm.
So, your prospects are going to see your marketing,
Hmm.
and they need to see that if you had that strategy implemented in their business, that it would work.
Got it.
So one of the biggest mistakes I have seen is a marketing agency that hires a lead gen company to go bring them leads when they don't sell the lead gen company, they sell the marketing. Because then, as a client, I'm going to say, well, you found me because you had someone else cold call me.
Yeah.
Why is your marketing not building your business?
Exactly. Which is a bit
You,
ironic.
right. So that, to me, if you are going to build your business as a marketing agency on LinkedIn, they need to experience the buyer's journey through you that you will now duplicate for them.
Got it. Got it. So they need to
So,
see
so
that it's
yeah,
working for you as a business owner, and if it's working for you, then there's a chance that whatever you are doing works, and you can help them as well, eventually.
that's exactly right.
Got it. Got it. Makes sense.
Practice what you preach. Yeah,
Practice what you preach, and I like the whole thing about like changing yourself from your LinkedIn profile from a resume to like a resource, which is
a
great because
resource.
anyone who's coming to your profile would like learn something out of it and something related to what you are doing and they are interested in.
Correct.
Got it. Amazing. So really nice talking to you, Bryn. I know that you are getting late right now. You have like 4 minutes to go.
Yeah.
So I'll let you go right now with this. But really nice conversation, really tactical advice on LinkedIn as well as sales, which is great. I'm sure this would be very, very helpful for anyone who is listening. So thank you for
Well, I
joining in today.
appreciate Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to meet you, and I hope I brought value to your audience.
You did. Thank you.
Thank you.